Inflation is the enemy when it comes to your savings because it attacks real returns and reduces the purchasing power of your cash. In simple terms, inflation means the price of everyday goods and service we buy is rising. The government's favourite measure of inflation is known as the Consumer Prices Index, or CPI. So if the CPI is 3.2%, it means prices are 3.2% higher now than they were a year ago. When inflation is high, the same amount of cash will buy less than it could the previous month or year. Hopefully your salary will rise in line with inflation at least, so you can continue to buy just as much as you could before. People on fixed incomes are particularly vulnerable to high inflation, and it's also bad news for savers. To earn a real return on your money, you'll need a savings account with a rate high enough to beat tax and inflation. If you're a basic rate taxpayer, you'll lose 20% of your interest to the taxman. In other words, if your savings rate is 4% before tax, it'll be 3.2% after tax with a 20% deduction. From the net 3.2% rate, you'll have to take away the rate of CPI inflation next. So if the CPI is 3.2%, your real return in this case is actually 0%. Putting it another way, for a basic rate taxpayer to beat tax and inflation, they would need to earn a rate on their savings of more than 4% when the CPI is 3.2%. For a higher rate taxpayer to earn a real return, they would need to earn a gross rate on their savings of more than 5.33%, as they'll lose 40% of their interest in tax. The rates on easy access savings are the lowest on offer from savings providers. If you pay tax, you may struggle to beat inflation. Instead, you may be able to beat inflation and tax by choosing a fixed rate ISA or bond, but you will need to lock your money away for 4 or 5 years. Don't forget, you can compare savings accounts and bonds right here at lovemoney.com/savings.